Hello, I'm Michael Houston, CEO. I'm here with my lovely wife, Terry Houston, founder of Houston Consulting Group and Associates. And on today's edition of our Business Empowerment Series, we have a very special guest with us today, and somebody I've known for a long time, since college days. Wow, been friends, and we've been working for several years as strategic partners in the real estate industry, and that's none other than Aaron Johnson, branch manager with Movement Mortgage. Hello, Aaron. How are you doing today?
Good morning to Houston's, Mike and Tara. Great to see you guys this morning.
Hey, great to see you as well. Hey, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Always, Aaron. So good to see you, and just blessed to be here too.
You said that right. Blessed to be here.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary time right now, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
It really is.
And that's one of the reasons why we had you on, because we know that you're, still moving and shaking in this COVID-19 environment. And we've certainly known you way before this. We've known you for a while now. I know you met Michael prior to me, but even you and I have known each other for years. And as long as I've known you, you've always been our go-to mortgage person.
Absolutely.
And,
absolutely.
So how did you even get the start in mortgages, in working as a lender?
Great question. Now, I'll try to give you the condensed version, but went to college, economics degree / marketing. And I'll tell everybody, nobody sets out to say they're going to be a mortgage banker. It's not in the curriculum. But I went through a boot camp, what I call being in the finance industry. So I lent money, I collected money. And one day somebody asked me, say, instead of wearing all those hats, how about you wear one hat and help people find houses or finance houses?
Right.
Okay.
I have a passion for, I come from a blue collar family. I was blessed with an ability to get educated from a great school and degree. And I was teaching my family about finance and others. And so somebody gave me an opportunity to establish some home ownership, which, it's an American dream, but even more challenges to some of the underserved communities. And so I got into the business about 20 plus years ago and had a moderate level of success. My longest tenure was with SunTrust. I was with Chase Mortgage for a while as an area manager. Started off in Hampton Roads, down in the 757 area. And believe it or not, I was asked to be promoted and I was going to Raleigh, North Carolina. So here's what's interesting. So said yes to Raleigh. A week into it, and Mike, I got a lot of family and friends up in the DC area.
Right.
And somebody they got about to say, well, we got another opportunity in Northern Virginia, DC. And I don't think she finished the sentence before I said, I'm going to DC.
I know that's right.
So, and then I got with Chase Manhattan, spent 11 years with SunTrust. I was a regional manager with them. So I had from New York down to Northern North Carolina area. But it gave me an opportunity to learn and to work with different parts and regions of the country, definitely up and down the East Coast. And one thing I've had an opportunity to tell you is that people are just people. And so what you know, and what you don't know. So the educational aspect of it really helped me because that tried to kind of empower me to, if I was blessed with information, I felt it's important that I have an obligation to share that.
Absolutely.
With people some of the information that they weren't privy to, especially in some of the underserved communities. And so, just try to create some opportunities and advantages for people. And I just stayed in that arena. I will tell you, I have moved around a little bit in the last 10 years. Be quiet, Mike.
I follow you everywhere.
But I really moved around because I need the certain tools and opportunity to empower my business partners as well as my clients. And if I have to, if I can't service them with the things they need to help them along their journey and objectives, I got to move to where I can. So I've been 3 years here with Movement, branch / area manager. Mike, you and I were working together, Tara, for a number of years. And where I go, you guys have always been, right there with me. And I appreciate it. And again, I really appreciate this opportunity today. And we're still working the same capacity that we have started years ago.
Absolutely.
So I can appreciate that. You guys are really genuine to me. And, I hope you appreciate the fact that I love and appreciate you guys as well.
Well, I'll tell you, we definitely appreciate you, Aaron. I know you just spoke about empowerment, where you needed the resources and the environment where you can empower your agents. We've definitely been benefactors of that over the years. And that's why you're our go-to guy, because you you've been able to align, and we've been able to align with you, kind of synergy in terms of our principles and our mission. We're all about building legacies for our clients and for our community, through home ownership. And you've been able to not only help us, but many of our agents that you work with and serve as well, being able to do that through, being innovative and align yourself with the best of the best to be able to, support and empower the agents and ultimately, the home buyers and sellers, because some of the things that you do to assist sellers as well. So we really appreciate you.
Yeah, I try to do that. As I say all the time, I try to add value no matter where it comes from.
Absolutely.
I give you one of my personal testimonies. Actually, somebody that I work with you guys, and they asked me, we're all in this business, to earn a living for our family. We got that, so what, so that. My so what is what I do, so that I can take care of my family and provide a certain quality of life for them. But also, I look at it the same way. They look at me like, well, are you getting, what's the benefit of you coming in and talking to real estate agents about how they can go out there and capture business or, empower their clients or loan officers for that matter. And to be honest with you, I look at it from a perspective that I have an opportunity and I picked up some knowledge and information, but if I can share it with you and add value to that setting, whether it be about helping you with your sellers, your buyers, or better yet, helping you with your downline, some people that you'd like to train with some information
Absolutely
that you can use. So that's just what I've always appreciated. It's not all about the transaction. It's about the relationship with people.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I know you're big on agent education.
Yes.
Empowering the agent with the tools that's necessary for them to run their businesses. So what are some of your tips for agents, real estate agents?
For me, to be honest with you, you got to learn your craft. You actually have to practice your craft. And what I mean by that is educate yourself on, if you don't understand a certain community, such as I want to go and sell a $500,000 house, but I've never worked with a buyer or the mentality of somebody who can actually afford a $500,000 house. You got to go to your network of resources, which is why, again, I appreciate you guys, because you guys will always provide a platform for folks to come and tap in off of that, of your own personal knowledge and empower them. I feel the same way. So I come in there from a perspective of understanding the finance and the numbers of who you're talking to.
Absolutely.
Meaning somebody who's going to buy a $500,000 house who actually live in a house already, they're probably not going to want to talk about, first-time home buyer programs that you just did. You got to go and talk about what matters to them, something in their community, what about the community, what they should understand about the financing aspect of it, even how to sell their house and what kind of buyer to look for who's actually coming to that home to prospect, maybe put a contract in place, And so, like I say, everybody's an individual, but if you don't become a student of your profession,
That's right.
you're going to find yourself always looking up at those who are prospering.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely. That definitely.
So become a student of your profession. So never stop learning, always engaging with others, and always seeking to glean from someone who's already doing what it is you want to do.
I always tell people, success breeds success.
That's right. That's right.
And sometimes say, well, what? You go. My analysis is you go start looking at that privacy fence. You start peeking over the fence and what they doing over there.
Right.
That yard's a little nice in their mind. And sometimes you gotta, duplicate the success. What are they doing? And then you make it fit yourself. That's why I say practice your craft. I mean, the message that we have out there, doing a mortgage is not recreating the wheel. Right. However, how you deliver that message to your audience, and you got to understand your audience, right?
Right. Absolutely.
That's the bigger piece of it, So I tell agents all the time, understand your audience, understand the nature of what you need. It's going to be something that might trigger the thought process of that person or person that you're talking to.
Right. And
understand them, right? I need to understand how the agent functions. And you guys know, I ask this question all the time. What do you guys experience? What do you guys do in certain situations from an agent perspective?
Right.
Because now I have to come back and tailor some of my messaging or even product mix or even information I want to share that might help you along that journey that makes you get empowered.
Absolutely. That's very important. We appreciate you sharing that. And like you said, success breeds success. So I know we apply that even in our business. But let me ask you this, Aaron, because I know, as you well know, and we all know, even our audience here, We're in the midst of COVID-19. A lot of people are, dealing with some challenging issues, and even professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs, agents, loan officers, things like that. But I've seen, and as we've been working together, you all, you and your company continue to thrive, continue to provide excellent service. I know here in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, I know we're here in Virginia, we serve all the markets. It's still a thriving market. A lot of people are still buying homes. A lot of people are still selling homes. Cost of money is low, but there are still some challenges that, buyers need to deal with concerning, the impacts on the industry that COVID-19 is having. But what are some of the things that you all are doing to Moving Mortgage to kind of, help address and help, buyers during this time, during this COVID-19, make it maybe a little bit easier for them, to achieve that dream of home ownership?
Well, thanks, Mike. I'm glad you asked that question, because as we started over. This is an extraordinary time in the world.
Yes.
Not just our country. In our country, and so many people are suffering. This virus has touched so many aspects of our lives. From how we shop to how we go pick up the groceries to take care of our family. So it impacts so many different pieces of it, and that impact has affected the financial market. So, most of us understand that there was a contraction in the market, which means loans became extremely small, meaning tighter to get qualified for. So when I mean that, we start off with 580 credit scores, stuff like that, and you can go all the way up. And there's a lot of programs to help new buyers, repeat buyers get into the marketplace, and manage around the financial aspect of it. Because of the uncertainty in this ever-changing policy and how we approach things, we just don't know how long the virus is going to be affecting us. And so, just like I said, we all get conservative, right? We put on masks, we go to the store different,
right?
We get conservative. Financial markets are no different. However, as time has evolved, one of the things I am very proud of right now with my company is that, the moving story is they started off with how to make the process of buying a house easier, which is about 10, maybe 11 years ago. So think about it. This company's not even that old. It's like 12 years old. But it started with that proper vision, how to make it easier for people to buy houses and also how to manage it. That process has grown. The company is very large now, and what they've actually done, and I've been blessed to be part of that discussion team. So I'm very thankful for that. But we can come up with different ways to enhance the opportunity still for agents to go out and service their clients, and for us to focus on providing financial resources.
Right.
And I say it in that order because Movement is probably the most agent-focused and centric company, mortgage company I've ever worked with.
Absolutely.
A lot of the things we do is so that we can empower our business partners. And so what we did is, and I'm just going to go down a short list. We reduced the credit scores back down a little bit for certain buyer profiles. For example, if you're an active duty, and you'll follow this thing, an active duty military person can still qualify for a VA home now at 580.
Wow.
I ran across, and I'm an industry person, so I haven't ran across a company that's been that aggressive, especially this day and time. So that's still available for someone who's actually serving a company in the military. They can still use a low credit score and still buy a house and use their full VA eligibility.
So let's clarify that. We want to make sure we heard that. 580 credit score for VA buyers.
Or active duty.
Active duty.
Okay.
VA.
They're currently in the military serving.
Okay.
And with that said, and I'll tell you the background first, and I know it might be a little long, but what has happened is most mortgage companies, we work in what we call the secondary market, which means how we manage our loan profiles. That has shrank. So there's not a lot of companies out there that's willing to come in and buy what we call bulk mortgages, meaning credit profile mortgages. What has that done? That means if I can't deliver a loan to somebody, so I'm not going to get that quick turnover in finance to keep my company going, I got to follow what they're going to buy. And so that has changed things. So you've seen discussion where credit scores have gone up to 640, 680, 700 in some cases. There's two large banks out there say they weren't doing a mortgage right now if you didn't have a 700 credit score. I mean, that's a game changer for most people who are out there trying to buy houses.
Absolutely.
And all of this has been in the last 2.5 weeks. So think about it for a minute. You got qualified for a house at the end of March, April, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later, you're not qualified anymore. You're in the process of trying to buy a house in an environment that has low inventory. So you got to hunt a little harder to find the right house, right?
Right.
While you're hunting, now you're no longer, you can't buy a house. And they're talking 60, 90 days, and we don't even know if that's true or not. So companies like Movement, who are capital heavy, financially sound, and ironically, we were talking about how to keep our own loans so we didn't have to go and sell it off to another investor. Well,
Right.
ironically, COVID-19 hit and we accelerated it. And so we've been in discussions, and to sum this up, we decided that we're going to keep all the servicing of our loans.
That's
Doesn't mean we can manage our own credit profile.
wow.
So the first thing we did is we can get a store away. We just dropped the credit score from 640 down to 620 again.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. That's
So
great.
FHA, VA, borrowing, it starts at 620. Majority of companies were at 660, 680, 640 in some cases. And you're going to see it industry-wide start trickling back down, which is a little bit more aggressive, but we're there now.
That's great. That's great.
And then the most important piece that just happened over this past week, and I'm just going to share it hot off the presses, we've come up with a COVID-19 program to support the frontliners, the first responders out that are, our heroes today. And we're giving $2,500 lender credit on any individual that is in a first liner or first responder profession.
Wow.
And we're talking military, obviously. We're talking police officers, firemen, anyone in the medical profession, nurses, etc. And if they're out there trying to buy a house, what Movement is doing is, basically we're giving them $2,500 towards their purchase.
Yeah. So in other words, if somebody's buying a house and let's say they have to bring $10,000 to settlement, cash to settlement, and they're a frontline responder, your COVID-19 program would reduce that $10,000 by $2,500 as far as the credit, correct?
Yes. Now let me tell you, that's the difference because this is specific. We're talking about, and again, I tell you, we're agent focus, right?
Right.
There's in the mortgage process and the buying process, you guys know, but there are 2 buckets of monies you need.
Yes.
Down payment money.
Down payment.
And you need closing costs.
Closing costs.
By law and RESPA guidelines, I can't give you money to help you buy your house.
Right.
I mean, if your house costs $100,000, you need to put 3% down. That's $3,000. I can't give you any part of that $3,000.
Absolutely.
However, on the other side of that, most closing costs, I'm going to say on average, are around 3% of that amount financed. So keep the number simple. There's another $3,000 on the other side.
Right.
You and I and agents, we try to negotiate that and put you in the best position to get the seller to pay some of that kind of thing. So what I'm telling you guys is, if I have $2,500, that's a lender credit, which means I'm going to give you credit towards buying your house, meaning covering the cost of that transaction.
Right. Not down payment, but
not down payment.
And so we make sure we are clear on that.
That's very clear. You understand? If you got to put down payment down, I can't give you that.
Right.
Absolutely. You can't help them buy that house, but you can help them transaction on that house, meaning I can pay closing costs and stuff of that nature. So if your closing cost was $3,000, guess what it is now? $500.
That's powerful. That's
awesome.
powerful.
That's strong in a couple of different ways. And again, since we're going to have an agent audience as well, you're out there now trying to get your buyer who's qualified, into a home, and the seller also has the same. I'm affected by COVID-19. I may not have 10 grand to give you in closing cost help. Guess what your negotiation play is now on that contract? Do I got to fill the blanks in? Now you're negotiating from the players that, guess what? My preferred lender for my buyer has $2,500 that we can kind of play with that closing cost number.
Wow.
If you guys don't think about how that can empower you to win that contract for your buyer, that's a big one.
That is a big one, Aaron. And so I just want to make sure we're clear on the keys. $2,500 to help towards closing costs, and these are for your frontline essential workers. Can you kind of summarize again who those essential workers are per Movement Mortgage definition?
Those are people who are full-time, not part-time. full time, and they earn a living as in a medical profession, and that's from an EMT worker all the way down to the nurses and their CNAs, the whole nine.
Wow.
Okay.
Anybody that's in the profession of a fireman, police officers, active duty military, you know, even if you got a reserve requirement in there that we can use your VA, I can actually leverage the $2,500 towards that as well. You know, so we're just really trying to support those folks who are, you know, putting themselves in more or less harm's way, trying to keep us all healthy and safe. So anybody in that profession, and if you're not sure, give me a call directly or email me, and we'll clarify, you know, what that is. But anybody in the profession of a first responder, which means anybody in the medical profession, doctors, nursing, we're even doing, if you're quote, work in a hospital, we can even qualify that in a sense, you know.
Absolutely.
Not in the cleaning staff, but if you're actually working for that hospital, you can kind of use that as well. But your firemen and your police officers, your civil servants out there, you know, we're just trying to create some relief for those folks, you know, within federal guidelines. You know what I mean?
Right. Wow.
We're not going to see where there's any negative benefit to using that. Meaning, we're not saying your rate would have been 3.5, but because of this, you know, 3.625. No, this is company branch fully funded. And I got to be honest with you, we put that out there to some of our selected professionals,
Yes.
professionals.
Yes.
And there wasn't one that didn't raise their hand and stand up and say, I'll do it.
Right.
Wow, I know that's right.
Absolutely.
I'll do it. It's not about the money at this point. It's about, you know, giving people hope, encouragement, you know, letting them know that we appreciate their efforts. And I'm very proud of this, I got to be honest with you, that we were able to put this together. So it's available to people out there today, right now. It is not a permanent thing, people. We actually looked at for about 60 to 90 days.
Right.
You know, so it started as of May 1st, and it's going to go through the end of June, and then we'll reevaluate somewhere mid-June to see where the country is and where this virus is at this point.
Okay, great. We'll definitely make sure we have your contact information. I think this is a great way to wrap up this edition. Just, you know, something that you're offering that's very special during this COVID-19. I think that's definitely going to help many people who may be challenged as far as just needing some extra money or some extra help and getting into maybe their first home or their next home if they're moving up. So definitely want to reach out to Aaron Johnson, branch manager with Moving Mortgage. We're going to have his contact information in this post with this video. And so, no, we appreciate it. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Aaron. And,
I appreciate you guys.
Yes, and always been a pleasure working with you over the years and continuing to do so.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day. Stay safe, cover it up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. If any questions, just feel free to give me a call. But again, a pleasure. Have a great morning.
Okay.
Have a great day. Okay, thank you, Aaron.